You're listening to Lyfe and Shyt. I'm Daneyel Walker.
And I'm Tommy Walker.
Join us as we talk about our journey overcoming fears, boundaries, marriage, family, lifestyle, business, and whatever other shit you can think of.
We're individuals that came together to create one unit with one mind and one goal.
What's up, baby?
How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
How come you don't never let me finish the question?
What?
As soon as I say, how you doing? I'm good. I don't know if the people actually pick that up, but they like, is this real or is this scripted?
I just really, that's how it is.
Say?
That's what you always say anyways. Like when we're in the stores and someone says like, oh, hey, how are you? And I'm like, oh, we're good. How are you? And they never answer.
Don't say nothing.
Yeah.
So you just say
it's
hello.
Just an automatic. Yeah. You're like, just say hello, babe. I'm like, no, I want to say like, how are you too? If they don't hear me, then they just don't hear me. And that's okay. Well, I said it.
You know, that's why in Spanish is real quick. Y tú? so you don't have to hear all that.
Silly. You still got to say it back if you don't.
Just say y tú. They look at you like, what?
Hola, ¿cómo está? Y tú? The end.
What's going on? How's your day?
My day was kind of crazy. I kind of felt a little pulled. I got a lot of people under me, and it's just one of those days where they all kind of needed a little direction, you know? I mean, they legit said it, so it's just like, oh. And I pride myself in not being a micro manager, but they wanted a little bit of managing, you know what I mean? So
your people taught you that don't get complacent.
Yeah,
even
time.
Even though you're paying us to do what we're supposed to do, we still need direction.
Yeah. So
as you as a COO, you're like, it's never a comfortable moment. You can never be off your game.
No. Yeah.
It's a good learning. That's absolute. You can't get that in class. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful.
That's why he's like, let's get this wine popping.
Yeah, like I'm ready to chill. Like I'm ready to put on some comfy pajamas, some nice, and it's been kind of rainy too. Some warm socks and watch some cartoons.
It's the next episode. Comfy. Whenever you say comfy pajamas, I'm like, oh.
And ice cream or some tea. It's like ice cream and tea go kind of after. Why do you say
Because it's not sexy pajamas.
Oh, okay.
Comfy pajamas are not sexy pajamas at all.
Yeah, I have a very sexy.
You do have sexy pajamas.
I have very sexy comfy pajamas as well. I have a pink, but it's red, and it says naughty and nice on one side, and those are very sexy.
Prove it.
I've worn them before. They are very sexy. You know what I'm talking about?
When you wear your comfy pajamas.
I'll prove it. I'll prove it. The little booty bump that pops off in the back.
All right,
You've seen them.
Do all that.
Why do I got to prove it?
Because when I hear comfy pajamas and you say comfy with socks and ice cream, there's only one thing that comes to my mind. A big ass t-shirt.
Well, that could be too. But still, it's comfortable. I didn't say sexy. It's true.
I know. That's why I said, what question you got for me?
It's hard out here, ladies.
It is hard. It's you got to stand up sometimes.
You can't be comfortable. You can't go to sleep. Our mastermind's a cult.
Shit, no.
Boom, just hit you.
Yeah, you've been asking about this cult shit for a while.
I'm not asking about no cult stuff.
Yeah, you've been talking about cults for a minute.
I have not.
Okay. Is that because people thought we was part of a cult one time?
It was church, and yes, people did, and that's not why. I just wanted to explore cults because I think it's interesting.
No, legit, people really thought we was a part of a cult. That shit was crazy. My family, everybody was like, are you okay? Are you a part of a cult?
Yeah, people that I met for the first time ever was like, you know, it's a cult, right? And I was like, wait, what?
What the fuck you talking about? What does that
mean? we drank the Kool-Aid. That's why we didn't know.
And then you watch that movie or that TV show the following, and we was like, hell no, they ain't part of it. Like we wasn't part of no shit like that.
Yeah, but we saw how it could have gone there.
Yeah,
I mean, some people they followed them to a lot, right? So I mean,
state.
That was the legit beginning of the following. Who knows?
That was very cultish.
Mm-hmm. Who knows how much further he took them? They followed him. So
technically a mastermind too, right? So, because all right, so to me, no, mastermind is not a cult.
Okay, let's clear that up, right?
Yeah. so I mean, we have biweekly meetings that we call masterminds, right? So our team, we get together. I don't like just calling them meetings, so we label it as a mastermind. And then, you know, the organization that we're part of, you know, we do monthly masterminds. And then even me and you, like we have masterminds.
Yeah, like weekly.
Yeah.
And basically it's a peer-to-peer mentoring group, right, that gets together to share and to explore any ideas or any issues that they have. And the idea of it is that all these people that are with the like-mindedness, they come together and they are able to build amazing things, right? Because it's like you're there for the same purpose.
All right, so right there, that's when it sounds cultish. when people always say like-minded, and it's funny how when people say like-minded, right? And it's one of those terms, you know, who knows where it came from, but every time you hear like-minded, it's like, I'm trying to be in a room with like-minded people.
Yeah.
That's a cult. but from a mastermind perspective, you know, it's usually for business owners, right?
You say you want diversity and this and that. Yeah, you're right. And I want to be around people who have the same kind of mind like
exactly.
me. Yeah.
I want people that only think like me, like, you know, believe in what I believe in, you know, kind of have the same, you know, thoughts and all that stuff. So when you hear like-minded, it's like, which way we going down with this like-minded?
I can see what you're saying. It could be very cultish if you think of that, but in another sense, it's just that where two or more are joined, and that's like a biblical term right there. That's like kind of where magic happens, right? And that's like, and I'm going into my value, but that's where that energy is. Like if there's, I recall back in the day, they were trying to get like over 1 million people to meditate at the same time, right? And I know that Christians have done this a lot, like want people to pray all together at the same time, in the thought of building this huge kind of a mastermind to make something happen. And I believe that when there's professionals that are all like-minded, and all wanting to move towards the same thing, then that's amazing. Like the United States, they have tons of masterminds, right? That they do, like Supreme Court, like all those things are huge. They are really masterminds because everybody comes with the same like-mindedness, right, to help move the country forward, or they always have an agenda, right, and they always have something that they want to get to the end of that agenda, right, whether it's for this purpose or that purpose, but that's it.
That's true. That's very true. My first mastermind was when I got into real estate, and I mean, granted, whenever in my corporate world we used to sit and have meetings, very unproductive, most of them, but when it was called a mastermind, it's like, yo, we're going to get this mastermind together. We're going to meet every week. The purpose was some level of accountability. So it was like, all right, we're going to hold you accountable so that you could be great and everybody else in the room is going to be great. And not only are we like-minded individuals, but we're in the same industry.
Yes.
Now with real estate, that doesn't really make sense, because if all of us trying to sound like when you're in a part of a mastermind, you want to be part of a mastermind where you're not in a room with everybody that's from the same industry, so you could grow and build on that. That's really one of the purposes of having a mastermind, unless, you know, like how you said, if you have a job and you have to work together as a community to create something, then that's totally different as well.
Because I was a part of many masterminds before without them being actually called masterminds, right? And like I said, in church is one. And then when I was an MRI technologist, all of the managers would get together and talk about the managing of the company, right? So it was probably about 10 different managers from 10 different doctors' offices, and we all got together and we talked about the well-being of the company in a whole, right, and how we all did things, and that was a bit of a mastermind, because it was like bringing us all together, and it's like, okay, so let's see, how do we fix this, or how do we introduce this, or how do we make this happen? So it was very much like we do with our company when we bring the mastermind, when it's like, all right, you guys, we're here to not just talk about problems, which is the difference between a mastermind and a meeting, right? Because then what is a meeting? Because we could have a meeting every week, right, and do the same thing, but meetings end up turning into bitch fests, and masterminds are very much not that, right? So to me, a meeting would be everybody just kind of throwing their problems out there, right? Like, this happened and this happened and this happened. It's like, all right, and the mastermind is like, this happened, but we did this. Yeah. What do you guys think?
It's
right?
An experience share.
Yes.
So in mastermind groups, so the difference between masterminds and meetings, as Daneyel was alluding to, is you have experience shares. Now, there are some bad masterminds where a motherfucker will come up and they're quiet, right? You want to be in a room where if you're the only one speaking, and everybody else is quiet, that's not a mastermind. You know,
Right.
if you're in a room and there's no growth, and a lot of masterminds, and this is why they say it's mostly in the business owners world, is because you don't want to just accept everyone into a particular mastermind, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to, you know, the strategies that are behind why masterminds are created, it's really to kind of move you forward as an individual. And then you go back to that mastermind, and then you say, all right, this is what happened, this is, you know, what I did, and this is what I'm going to do going forward.
Yes. And I mean, I agree that it is in business, but I say it could be in everything, not just a business thing, but like everyone could mastermind.
Yeah, you get it. Like even your family can mastermind together, right?
Yep.
Like
Family meeting.
Yeah,
Let's get
family
together.
meetings.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because when we used to have family meetings, you know, the kids used to be like, are we in trouble? Like, what is this about? And then we had our first one, and we kind of broke it down, and they was excited about it. They was like, oh, like, when's the next one?
Yeah,
You know, and then they wanted to bring their issues up to them. And then it was like, all right, no more.
You say, I was going to say, and that's
like,
when that ended.
Yeah, it's like, no more, no more mastermind meetings with y'all.
So, mom and dad.
I was like, what? No, this is not the purpose of that.
You silly, man. That's real, though. We did. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Oh, man. So in mastermind meetings, would you say there's a set of ground rules?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you gotta there has to be what do we call is your a doctrine, right? You have to follow a process. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it a mastermind.
Right.
Otherwise,
not just a meeting or some random shit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we just
People
getting together.
A group just getting together, that's not a mastermind, right? So it's a mastermind, and if you look it up the definition of it, right? You know, it's someone who comes from like a genius. It's people working in their genius zone. And when you work in your genius zone, and then you have everybody working together in harmony, that's where greatness comes out.
When I look up mastermind, it says a mastermind group is a mastermind group help like-minded professionals get their support or peer support and brainstorm ideas and create accountability. There are two typical types. There's the goal-oriented and then success-driven types of mastermind. Well, what do you think is I say the masterminds that we are a part of are both goal and success driven.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what we call our mastermind is called forum. And in my forum, you know, it's all about goals, and with those goals, create success. And there's a high level of accountability in my group.
Yeah.
And really it's like no bullshit either. Yeah. And we're all from different worlds. And we got marketing, we got health, we got entertainment. I mean, so it's real shit.
Yeah, and in the forums that we're a part of, I'm currently not a part of a forum. I was, and this is a separate group that Tommy and I are both a part of. And within the group, which is basically like a big, huge mastermind, there's these break-off groups that we're in, which are forums. And in those different groups, we meet once a month, when I was in a forum. And then these are people who are basically like your best friends. You meet with them once a month, you go on a vacation once a year with them, and you share with them as well. And everyone is like-minded, but the cool thing is everyone's in a different business.
Yeah.
No one's in like the same business, so you're able to share because in the gist of it all, we're all in business. So that's what the core of it is.
And I think that's you talked about something is the share and the vulnerability in masterminds. And that's one of the things, like in our office, when we sit down at the table in the conference room and we have our mastermind meetings, like how you said, it's about strategy and execution. And then it's also about vulnerability. It's like, all right, what are you going through as well? Because our team members, you know, they have, you know, 20 to 25 people under them. And, you know, I know when I had 25 people under me, nobody asked me how I was feeling. Right. Nobody asked me how I was dealing with all 25 of those personalities and how all 25 of those people were talking in my head. So as the leader of that mastermind, you know, it's imperative that, you know, we bring that out. And you do a great job with making sure that you, like, after I go in, you say, all right, now bring it back and let's have a breath, or you'll start a meeting with breath. And so everybody could kind of clear their head. And then when they come to the table with whatever their shares and their experiences are, it's more on purpose and it's more focused.
Yeah. And that's because a lot of times when we have those types of high credibility. No, we're high accountability, right? Because we're holding you accountable, right? People are nervous, like, oh shit, they're gonna call me out on my shit, or I didn't do it, or I did do it, but I don't know if I did it right, or this and that, right? And I'm like, listen, like before we start, let's take a breath. Let's just clear this shit out. Or if Tommy jumps on him and like tells them all off, then afterwards it's on me, and I'm like, okay guys, let's take a breath. Let's clear the energy, right? Because it's all about energy, and that's what I feel like masterminds are about. It's about energy. It's about everyone having that same energy towards the same goal, no matter what it is, if it's business, if it's religion, if it's sewing, if it's farming, or if it's whatever your jam. If it's digging and you're a digger, then you get together and you talk about dirt, you know, you talk about the land, you talk about the soil, and you talk about the moistness, and you talk about, you know, whatever it is that you need to do to get the job done at the best.
Yeah.
Best.
And one thing about masterminds, they're typically fees. Like like most masterminds that are at a very high level, you got to pay to get into them. And, you know, one of my terms I always say, you got to pay to play. And it's legit. So if you're thinking about joining a mastermind and they say, oh, it's going to cost X amount of money, then legit, just think about the ROI on that, right? So if you're part of a mastermind that's free, you know, free is what you get, right? So just kind of think about that. If it's 5 of your friends and y'all get together and try to create a mastermind.
I'm still on the pay to play part. I was just like, what, babe? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
that's your what? What did you say that was?
You got to pay to play.
No. You said that was what you.
That's my little thing. I like to say.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah. It's like,
that's what I thought you said.
Instead of saying return on investment, no, you got to pay to play. And, yo, if you think about,
I keep thinking of this. Sorry, plug and play. I don't know.
No, not plug and play. This ain't Atari. You got to pay to play. It's like, if you think about back in the days, joining the neighborhood team,
true.
You had to pay to play.
Yeah, I guess it's not easy, because then when it's just plug and play, that means it's easy.
Exactly.
You don't even have to pay. You just plug it. You just plug and play. Like, that's it. Like,
unfortunately, you see what the ones that show up, you're like, this motherfucker ain't cut. Yeah, he ain't cut from the same cloth as me.
I apologize. Go ahead. I had to get that out.
Yeah. So just think about, you know, whatever, if you literally, and when you're thinking about a mastermind too, you know, you have the position to interview and kind of ask questions. You know what I mean? Like, so basically what I'm saying is that I highly suggest masterminds. I highly suggest that you're being a part of them. And like Daneyel said, business owner or not, you know, get a part of something that's going to add value to your life. And if it requires some type of fee, then, you know, just kind of consider that.
Yeah, if you find that you are weak in persistence, and surround yourself with a mastermind group. That's Napoleon Hill.
My man Napoleon. Because he also said, coordination of knowledge and effort and a spirit of harmony between 2 or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. So it goes back to what you said. Masterminds are either goal-oriented or success-oriented.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, why not be a part of that? And you know, it might sound cultish, right? Because if I'm telling you about my mastermind and all these great things and how all of us are going to do things, and like how you said, oh yeah, and then we go out and we got birthday parties and we go to
vacation together. It's like, oh, you want to go on vacation?
You gotta go on vacation.
Oh,
like you have to. Like
if you're late, you have to pay a fee.
Yeah, like
or you get kicked out.
And that's accountability.
Yeah,
that's at the end of the day. And you can't say, "Oh, I want to be held accountable," and then when accountability comes knocking at your door, you treating it like Jehovah's Witness. You ain't answering. Like no, if accountability comes knocking, take the pamphlet.
That's real. That's real. And masterminds keep you, mastermind groups keep you accountable and hold you accountable to your plan. And I love that. And that leads me to my quote from Jim Rohn, who is one of my favorite now motivational speakers, other than my husband, Tommy Walker. It says, Jim Rohn says, I remember saying to my mentor, if I had more money, I would have a better plan. He quickly responded, I would suggest that if you had a better plan, you would have more money. You see, it's not the amount that counts, it's the plan that counts. In Jim Rohn's words.
Yeah, Jim Rohn's voice.
Yeah, his voice and his words, actually, right?
That was great. And Jim Rohn is my man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for introducing him to me. I didn't know anything about him before. Now I love him.
Surround yourself around the right people and amazing things will happen. Mastermind or not. typically at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. So if you've never been exposed to it, if you're thinking about it, definitely leave a comment, hit us up, and we can engage with you about Masterminds and our experiences in it. Because at the end of the day, that's all we want to do is share our experiences, and that's what the whole show is about, is sharing our experiences. That's why I love you so much.
I love you too.
Life and shit.
Life and shit. We love you.
Do us a favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Leave a review. Let us know what your thoughts are. That's the only way that this show is going to be successful. And we appreciate you. Talk with you next time.